Let's film study. All right, we're back looking at the Chiefs. Chiefs versus Pittsburgh. Again, this is from December 25th, 2024. All right, and we have a 1st and 10 play here. So we're 1st and 10. We have one back in the backfield. We have one tight end right here, so that's 11 personnel. All right, and the formation we will call from left to right. So we're always reading these things as a defensive player. All right, so we start on our left. We have one receiver there. Okay, so that's all that goes on the left. We have 3 to the right, and those 3 are in a cluster, right? And a cluster, again, is 3 receivers in close proximity that are also attached to the core. Okay, so we have 13 cluster. 13 cluster. The backfield set is I back or dot back. And the reason that it's called a dot back is because with a lowercase I, if we had a fullback right here, it would look like here's the leg of the eye or the stick part, and then here's the dot. The tailback is the dot. So we say he's in a dot position, right? So we have dot backfield. All right. Now the Chiefs are, let's see. All right. So you see right here, it looks like they're in a 2-high safety shell. Okay. You've got one here and one here, but right at the snap of the ball, they do a really good job of disguising what they're in. They're actually in cover 3, which is a single high safety look. Okay, so we'll get a post safety out of this, but they hold their disguise all the way until the ball is snapped, which is really good. All right, so here comes the down safety coming down to the strong side, right, where the tight end is. All right, so we're in a cover 3. Now, what we know about cover 3 is, in cover 3, if we have one back in the backfield, then as linebackers, we have one gap. Okay, so one back equals one gap in an 8-man box. So here comes the down safety that creates an 8-man box. All right, those 8 are the 4 down linemen, the nickel backer right here, and the 2 inside backers. All right, plus the safety coming down makes 8. Here's Tranquill and here's Bolton. Okay, the 2 inside backers. These guys have been having a heck of a season. They had a really good game this game too. These 2 really know how to do it. All right, here's what I want you to pay attention to with this. I want you to watch Bolton's head. Okay, we're going to try to get some sense of what his key is. All right, so as the ball is being snapped, he's looking at the tailback. Okay, you can see that right there. As soon as the ball is snapped, his eyes flash to the tight end real quick, just for a second. All right, now here's the gaps originally. All right, that's the gaps they'd be responsible for, and that's the only gaps they'd be responsible for as long as there's no contradiction. Contradiction, again, means that there's somebody pulling across the formation opposite the direction that the back steps. So the back is going to step in this direction, okay, which will tell Bolton and Tranquill to both step in that direction. As soon as they do that, their eyes flash out to the tight end, and we'll see him coming back across the formation this way. That's the contradiction. Okay, so when he comes back across this way, that means there's now one fewer gap on the side that he just left, okay, and one more gap on the side he's going to. Now, this play is called split zone. Let it run. Okay, it's called a split zone because the tailback and the linemen are all going in one direction. The linemen are all zone blocking, meaning that they are basically all blocking in the same direction, okay? However, the tight end here in a wing position, he's coming back across the formation. So this is a contradiction, all right? So we're going to follow this tight end back across the formation to get our new gaps. All right, so we'll go back to this. All right, that's our original gaps. All right, but when the tight end leaves, he leaves this gap. There's no more gap here inside of him and outside that tackle. Okay, there's still a gap outside the tackle, but no gap inside that tight end. So that means that Bolton doesn't have to be in that gap anymore. So Bolton is going to leave that side and go seek out a gap on the other side. All right. What gap is he going to seek out? Well, he's going to seek out where Tranquill is because Tranquill now has to move his gap also. Tranquill's job is a little more complicated. We'll talk about it in a second. But now he's going to end up out here because that tight end is coming all the way back outside this tackle. All right. Now 56 is going to what's called box this, okay, or force this back inside. So he's the edge player. He's going to send everything back inside. So technically, Tranquill has to come all the way outside this tackle, but inside the pulling tight end. Okay, I'll show you in a second. All right, so you can see Bolton. originally had that gap there, right? But as soon as this tight end picks up and leaves, his new gap is going to be this frontside A gap where Tranquill was originally, and Tranquill now is going to scoot all the way out to a C gap that doesn't exist yet. All right, it's going to exist when the tight end comes over. All right, so let's erase this. All right, so watch. Slow motion. All right, we'll freeze it right here. Okay, you can see right here, this tight end is blocking this defensive end up the field, all right? Inside of him and outside of this tackle, there exists a new gap, all right? The C gap. So that puts the DN now on the outside of that, which is the D gap. Tranquill knows he's responsible for the inside of that, which is the C gap. But the thing is, before the tight end ever gets that far, Tranquill knows he's got one of two gaps, all right? If this tight end were to insert in this A gap here, okay, he creates a gap outside of the A gap. So now we have Bolton would fit the inside of this A gap here, and Tranquill would fit the outside of this A gap here, okay? But what really happens is the tight end keeps going. The tight end goes past that A gap, okay, all the way outside the tackle, creating a new gap outside that tackle. So now there's a C gap and a D gap. So Tranquill ends up being responsible for the C gap inside the tight end, and Bolton takes the A gap that Tranquill just left. All right, and Bolton doesn't waste any time getting there, shutting this play down. It's a really good job. All right, now the running back, Najee Harris here, he starts off this way. His job is to basically follow this tight end back in this direction. So he's going to start here, but he's going to wind it back and end up following this tight end. And I want you to notice what happens here. Okay, so let's stop it there. You can see Najee Harris is already starting to wind back because he wants to follow his blocker. The problem is Bolton beats him there, and now he can't follow the tight end anymore. Watch. See, Bolton made sure he can't follow the tight end over to where the tight end is going. So now Najee Harris is in a pickle. He's got to keep it front side, right? And that's where we've got plenty of help. 91's there to make the tackle. And here comes the whole gang. All right. So once again, Tranquill and Bolton making a good case for why they're the best inside linebacker duo in football right now. Till next time.